how would you compare the way you're feeling now to when you were kind of going through your struggling moments of last year?
Yeah, I will say like last year, I don't know, maybe it was 10th round or something like that, and yeah, even on that time, we didn't figure out that this struggling will be a little bit longer, or because all these away games, what is coming now, from experience, how I felt then. Now you can manage your body and your mind to be aware what will be after this game against Nashville. Then we have like 4 away games, and how I can prepare myself in the best way to be like there to help the team like I did in the first 2 games on the way.
You got a lot of work in the first couple of weeks. I'd say it's lessened a bit over the course of the last couple. Do you prefer the games where you get to see a lot of the ball, or would you rather just, have everything kind of kept at bay?
I prefer when I have something, then like you're in the game. When you don't have nothing till 60-70 minutes, then like not that you don't know where are you, but like the game doesn't give you nothing, and then like you're waiting just for one ball, and then it will happen something that the first ball goes to the net, or that you have like big save in 75th minute, and that you keep your team to winning streak or to winning the game. But yeah, it's part of the game, and it will come the games when I will not have nothing and will receive 2 goals, or when I will have a lot of things and I will save everything. But yeah, this is the part of the game. But for me, the most important is to keep the structure of my mind and prepare myself in the best way, and just to be like constant.
I know you love basketball, so I almost would make it akin to you making an early save is like somebody hitting a 3-point shot early, kind of in a game, almost like that.
Yeah, for sure. Like it gives you some confidence for that game that you're in the right way and that you're helping your team. What is the most important of my position, to help the team, and even when you don't need to help them, don't screw something. Like goalkeeper position is like a specific. You need to do everything perfect, and then everybody are happy.
Yep.
Do you guys feel like Nashville is becoming a rival, or does it feel like a kind of a rivalry match?
I don't look like my rival or something, but maybe Charlotte FC fans, they're looking like rival. I look them like rival. How they are playing and how they are competing. I think they put even something more this season, like last year. Last year I think they play like probably three-quarter of the leagues really good. Then they come in some gap, and then even we finish above them. But overall, I think they play really good. What they show now in the start, that they are a really serious team. Whole team, how they play with the ball, without the ball, counter-attacks, how many goals they score, how many chances they create. We need to be aware of that, and yeah, it will be a really good game for us and for them. And yeah, it's 1 hour opportunity to beat them home and just to secure our points.
Are they one of the best goal-creating teams, you think, that you guys face? Like how just their front guys and the ability to finish?
Yeah, from my opinion is that New York City, Nashville, Miami, they're without us. If I will say, I will not put us there because I play for Charlotte. But all other teams, I think this is the most serious teams who will face this season.
Having to go without Zaha this week, is it like a chance where you feel like everyone needs to maybe raise their game a little bit without him?
Yeah, like we will miss Zaha because I don't know, like from last 35 games or more even, he played almost all the games except when he missed the game because of yellow cards or some injuries, but I don't think so that he had some injury this past year. We will miss him, but we have another guys who are waiting their chance, and it's a great opportunity for them to show that they deserve to play, and we believe in them because how they train, and yeah, it's just like one more opportunity for all of us to show how we look like team, not like individual, because overall our work is about the team, not about the individuals.
Mike?
Kelly, you're 6 games in. You're 6 games in without Adilson, a guy that you were pretty comfortable with in front of you. Have you seen the back end with the changes and missing him and new guys coming in? The organization of the back end and the defensive structure, is it still kind of a work in progress where you as the keeper are kind of figuring out where guys are, and does everybody look comfortable out there in front of you?
Yeah, I would just remind everybody, like even when Adilson was here and he was playing all these games when we have trouble, and he's a great player, he's really good my friend, but we are a team. We are not about. It's not about one player,
Right.
because if it's about one player, then for sure last season we will be like somewhere else, winning the title or something like. And we will not have this big gap of losing the games and everything if it's just about one player. In the end, he shows his quality and he went where he went, and great player. But we don't need to look like we miss him. But overall, I think we play well. We will have like better and less better games, but I think we are in good point. We need to be better. We can fix some things for sure, but what he said, I think from the start of the season now, if you compare like first 2 games and now last 4, I think we are in a much better spot, and I didn't had something to do like a lot last 3 games, and what is one really good point from us, where is the team?
When you look at the way you guys have tightened things up on the back end in this home stretch, what has been the big key? Is it being just guys coming back and helping out? Is it positioning? I mean, where do you feel that the defense has really stepped things up for you guys?
Again, defense is all the team, how to play, and I will say the energy what we bring in the start of the game, whole game. Even last game where we suffer against the Philadelphia second half, I think they didn't have like a lot of chances. They had position. They have they were on us, but overall maybe they had 1-2 chances and they scored 1. In the end, we took all immediately momentum on our side. We score second goal, then we had chance for third goal, then we scored third goal from offside, and all this energy and our home field, our home fans, but I think my opinion is that we need to work even more on that, because when you come on away game, we need to bring this energy, and that we feel like when we play home, we feel like safe, and that everybody will bring something extra if we need. If we receive a goal, then Pep and Zaha make something else, and we score second goal, and everything is fine. And those type of things we don't have in away games, and we need to bring. I don't say that we don't have, but we want from ourselves to be more. Even the last season we had the record the most
Road
winning
victories,
road victories, but we want just to feel better on away games, that even it's not problem to lose the game, it's problem how you lose the game and the way how you lose the game and how we feel. Like even in St. Louis, when you take this point, like we didn't felt great, like how we take this point, and this is the way where we need to think, like let's go on a away game that we feel that we are there. Sometimes you will lose, but in most cases you will take the points because we have quality for winning away games.
Okay.
Nashville has a very strong front 3 this year, and Surge, Mukhtar, and now Espinoza. Is this one of you got this game that you feel like you need to up your level because of the quality that those attackers have?
Yeah, for sure. Like in every game, I need to be there. I feel I need to be there because you never know. MLS is like the league where everybody can surprise you. But for sure, on those type of games, I put all my concentration because I think I will have something to do, if we want to take something. And I hope that my team will play great and that I will not have nothing. But overall, they have quality. They will make, even if you play like on high level, they will make something because they have quality. And it's one more opportunity like it was against Miami or like first 2 games where I need to be there and show my quality.
And then heartbreaking news this week from one of our own, and Patrick. What are your thoughts when you heard the news, and are you able to share what you told him?
Yeah, I text him because for sure he has like a lot of text messages and everything support. Yeah, it's easy for us, but for him it's really difficult, and just give all the support. And he's a young guy. I'm really sorry for him to miss the World Cup because it's I will not say one-time opportunity, but for 4 years you don't know where you are. But overall, he needs to think like just to come back stronger as soon as possible, and just to be positive because he's a great guy, great person, and for sure this will give him some more experience and everything when he'll be healthy, maybe to appreciate even more sometimes when you are suffer or where you are not scoring or where you are not playing good. But when you are healthy, this is the most precious things in the sport.
Next we go to Will Gittins.
Hey Kristijan, Will
Hi,
Gittins
Will.
here from AS USA. You mentioned the quality that Nashville have, particularly in the offensive line. Have there been any specific preparations for them this week? Maybe looking at how to prevent the counter-attacks that they can do so well?
I will not say that we went something specific on them because we have our structure, how we want to defend and how we want to be in rest defense. Yeah, I cannot say nothing more because it's before the game. We know probably how they go on counterattacks and everything, but I don't think that this is the case. Maybe you can ask me this after the game when we win, then I will say to you.
Okay. Can you tell me now, of that front three, Espinosa, Surridge, and Mukhtar, is there one in particular that you have admired when you've come up against in the past?
Look, all of them, I really know what is their advantage and what they like to do, and this is the most important for me. Particularly, Mukhtar is really fast on the feeds. His bicycle are not maybe most technical, but he has speed with the bicycle, go right or left, fast shot. This is for me then the point where I need to be still, not moving too much, because if I'm in the movement and he got me, then there will be problem. Sturridge, really good player who likes and he's really good in the crosses. I need to be aware of his header, where will be my position. Espinosa, like we saw, how he scored the goal from against Orlando. He can shoot from anywhere. Him and Mukhtar. Again, I need to be ready for anything can happen with them, because they can see even small pieces. If you are not in good position, they can get this. And yeah, I think they have really good 3 players who are guaranteed, every of them guaranteed 10 plus goals per season, what is really good for them. And yeah, we'll have a really good challenge for us.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go with Willie P.
You get a unique vantage point every game when you get to see the game from your perspective. How much do you get to admire how many chances are thwarted by the way your midfield plays? Things that could be going the other way, but Westy gets in on a challenge or Gianni gets in on a challenge. What is that like for you? What in terms of what do you see from those guys?
Yeah, sometimes they are doing some job where nobody will recognize this. I remember last season, I don't know against who we played. Maybe it was even Cincy, and then I had in my head Bibi. When you give some job to our midfielders, they are doing this job really good. And I remember from I think those games against Evander, when he was close to him, if you don't give him space, it's really difficult that he can do something extra. Like he can because he has quality. But if you're thinking like, oh, he's one of the players, he's not. Like he's that guy, and I don't want that he's shooting the ball. I don't want that he scored the goals. And if we will be closer to him, and most of the times our guys, what coaches are preparing, doing really good things like to be there or to block some passes where somebody can get the ball and be dangerous. And sometimes, yeah, this is like nobody can see, but from my side, I think that I come to them like after every game and say to them like good words because they help me and they help the team. And maybe the crowd or somebody else will not recognize this and they will not point out they are man of the match. Because okay, they are doing their job, but it's not just about that. It's like you need to be concentrated on that. It's not just normal game where you follow your wing back. You need to be maybe more in the central zone, what is not usually your position, to be like aware of this guy, and yeah, they can help a lot.
And we'll wrap up with Carol.
When it started raining last week, the guys were right behind you. Like, what did you sense from them? What kind of energy did you feel?
Yeah, like I felt from those guys who stay on the stands, they just raise up the voice and even sing the songs louder, and was good. And from another point, it was good that the rain hits my back, not my face. I think like for the first half for Blake was really difficult, or for their defense if it's some long ball. With the wind and with the hard rain, it was not easy, but yeah, I think both teams, or we took better advantage of that and scored the goal and go on halftime with this advantage of 1-0 and keep there and took 3 points, what is the most important.
One last one. Going in practice against your own teammates, who I'm assuming Zaha probably has the hardest shot, but who are some of the guys with the hardest shots?
No, Zaha doesn't have this.
He
hard
doesn't.
shot.
Okay.
He has quality, but not harder
okay.
shot. Like when he shoot like good ball, it's hard. But I will say like Schnegi has a really strong shot when we have. Then Idani, Tiger. All other players, they have more technical than stronger, but these three guys, they have like really power.
Like shaking their hands kind of
Rodolfo, yeah. When they are close and they put the power on the ball, they smash the ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the tougher for you to stop? A hard, heavy shot, the technical player? They're all different.
It depends. It depends. If the hard shot goes to the corner, you don't have any chance but to kick every ball like really strong and with power in the net, it's difficult. It will go more around me because you don't control the ball. But if you use the technique and you are more inside of the box, you can beat me more often because it's like ball with some curve and goes to the net. Like it's really difficult to see when a lot of players are in front of me. Then you'll have more chance to like when you are with technique, when you shoot the ball around the players. Then when you go with the power, then it's if you miss it, the ball will go like all the way on the side or somewhere on the block. But with the technique, what most of the players are using, it's more difficult.
Callie, thank you so much.
What can you tell us about availability for this weekend?
Wilf is unavailable after becoming a record breaker. So he's unable to play in the game. Other than that, everybody is available for selection.
I know you had mentioned Monday about the potential for maybe Rodolfo coming up. Is there any movement on that front?
Not at this immediate moment, no. I think there's talks about doing it. So I think the front office will be onto that. So we'll see if we can get that through and done for the weekend, but not of what I've heard of yet.
If he does end up on your first team roster, I'm not asking you to show all your cards, but how does he rank in terms of the hierarchy, in terms of what you'd want to see?
the reason that we're thinking of bringing him up is because he's done exceptionally well with the legacy. He did well pre-season with us. We've seen the potential, the development that we can get from him. And we feel that he can go and compete within the squad, and that's what we want.
I know you mentioned individual development earlier this week, and I'm sure there's probably specific guys you have in mind. It seems like somebody like a Tiger Small, so I know you've said he's trained well. How much can Carl be of a help to a player of that ilk, somebody who maybe is good on the training pitch, we rarely haven't seen it on the game pitch as much?
Yeah, the likes of Tiger will certainly help having Carl around, and with the individual development side of it. He's getting to a place where now he needs to start playing soon. He's 23, 24 years old now. I believe he's got so much potential. And again, difficult for him to break through when you've had Patrick Agyemang, you've got Idan Toklamati, you've got Wolf, you've got Pep Biel, you've got Leo Labada, Kerwin Vargas. It's really tough for these young lads, because for them, they have to make sure they train to be ready, and then when they're given that opportunity, they have to go and take it. He can argue back to me and say, the opportunity I've had, I scored in the Open Cup last year, I scored in the Leagues Cup last year when I got that opportunity. And these young lads have to show me they're better than them players I've just said before. But it does make it difficult for young players to come through when, we're not the only club. I think most clubs in this league pay a lot of money for players at the top end of the pitch, which makes it difficult for the younger players to come through.
I know that you mentioned in previous times that Pep on the wing could be an option. Liel and Vargas on the wings could be an option. How do you kind of graduate what you'd see, and maybe even adding an extra midfielder if Pep is on the wing? How do you graduate kind of both those options in terms of what you might employ this weekend?
Yeah, we've got a number of options, and I've looked at a few today in training. We'll look at a couple more tomorrow before naming it. But you've got the straight swap in, Liao coming in for him, or Tiger coming in for Wilf, or we can change it a little bit structurally. One thing we don't know is what Nashville will play, because they've just had a game this week. They've got another game in the week next week as well. So there is the opportunity. They did, I think, during the last CONCACAF games, rotate the squad, but we can't, rely on what they're going to do and judge what they're going to do. So we have to concentrate on ourselves and what we're going to do against them, and that's what we've been working on this week.
Carol?
Do you have an inclination to put Pep on the wing?
Maybe.
And how do you integrate Henry into the Kessler, into the...
Yeah, well, Henry's another one who's training with us now, regular. He's had minutes now for legacy, and he's up to scratch and he's up to speed, ready to push himself forward for the squad. So he's another one that's competing now, which is really good.
Steve?
I'd like to jump ahead to the cup match. I'm not sure if they're next week with you, but you've played non-competition games and scrimmages with the Charlotte Independents a number of times. Now it's the first official match and first true derby game in Charlotte for this. What's your take on Charlotte Independents as a club, and what does the romance of a cup game bring to it?
Honestly, I've not thought about it. I'd love to be able to tell you more about it. I've not thought about it at all. We have games, and the way my mind works is, right, okay, we've got Nashville. Let's concentrate on Nashville. Because if I start looking ahead, and, we have to obviously plan ahead and how our schedule's going to look. But I'm not looking at the other game. We've got people employed at the club. Our analysts will be looking at the opposition to see what they can do. What I know about Charlotte Independents, and I've been to watch them before. I've been to watch my son play there before. Really well-run club. They've come here a number of times and played, friendlies against us. And once we get there, we'll look forward to that game. And It's a cup competition that we'll take seriously, but there may be some rotation.
And, I mean, in the friendlies that you've played for a purpose of, giving your guys, that competitive edge, how did you find the level of their game, versus Charlotte?
Yeah, no, the level's okay. It's a good level. It's a level I've been watching for 3 or 4 years with my son playing in it. So I know an awful lot about the level.
And just the cup in general. I mean, because you've targeted pretty much all trophies.
We need to be competitive in all the games we play, in all the competitions we play in this season, and this is the first cup competition we'll enter. So we've got to make sure that we're competitive.
And I mean, do you see the U.S. Open Cup, in the same way that you view the FA Cup?
No. I get the question. Yeah, it's. I suppose the US Open Cup is the equivalent to the FA Cup, but it's very different in terms of how it's drawn, because of obviously the size of this country. You get drawn locally. That doesn't happen in the FA Cup. Because the country's smaller, it's like whoever's pulled out is pulled out. I think we knew last year that we had to have 2 away games. You would never know that in the FA Cup.
Yeah, but with the FA Cup, I mean, it's kind of fallen a little bit in the overall picture in Great Britain over the years. Do you still value it as like one of the important trophy?
You ask any Aston Villa supporter if they would they value an FA Cup win, and every one of them would tell you definitely. Last time they won it was in 1957, and they've won it 7 times. And funny enough, that was the time that my son was born, 1957. Although you use a 12-hour clock here, don't you? But yeah, it's still important as a cup competition, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Cheers, Steve.
I know you don't necessarily, you're focused on yourselves, but obviously Nashville's going to present some challenges, especially in the front end. Callie kind of talked about their goal scorers. What kind of sets those guys apart from what you may have seen to this point in other clubs?
I mean, this is my 3rd season in the league, and Mukhtar has been one of the standout DPs, I think, in the league over the last couple of years I've been here. I like what he's about. I like how he handles the ball, the passes he sees, the finishes. And Sam Surridge as well. I know a lot about him from being over in England, in Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, and he was fighting tooth and nail, I think, for the what do you call it? Who keeps Golden Boot last year. Did he lose out to Messi in the end? Yeah, but just shows how far he's come. After a slowish start in his first season, then his second season. And he's hit the goal trial again this year. He's a good player, I knew that. But our job is to defend well and not give them big chances, and concentrate on what we can do to hurt them.
Speaking of the back end and the defense, I also asked this to Callie, and I may not have phrased it properly for him, but 6 games in, and obviously it's 6 games now without your mainstay back there from last season and season before, Agyemang. How have you seen that group kind of gelling together and helping, keep clean sheets, or give Callie the opportunity for clean sheets and his eyes on the ball?
Yeah, I think after the first couple of games, I think, or the first 3 half games, I think defensively we've been much better. We've not given away too many big chances in any of the games. I think there's been continuity within that as well. I think players 6 games in now have played themselves into match fitness. And I think that shows with the, I think Harry Toffolo's done well the last few games. I think Nathan Burns done well the last couple of games. I thought Morrison was a little bit hit and miss last week. Has done well the previous 3 weeks before, 3 games before that, and Tim's been really a real steadying influence in the back line. So as a back four, as a back group, they've got the continuity, they've got the match fitness, and they're playing well at the moment as individuals and as a group. but they'll tell you as well. They're only as good as the people in front of them as well who protect them, and the people who are behind them pushing them. So they know that if they're not playing well, they could be out of the team.
And in regards to that, I'm assuming that continuity is your way of saying that they're gelling together, because you need that group. I mean, all teams need that group to be basically seamless. Am I
Yeah, no, I mean, defensively, you want to stop giving away big chances because you don't want to be reliant on your goalkeeper. Fortunately, when we are reliant, he's usually helped us out. After that 6-minute spell we had in Galaxy, we've actually probably given most of the goals away since then. I think, own goal against Austin, Cali dropped one against Red Bull, and a poor goal we gave away last week as well. So we've defended on the whole a lot better, and I think that's been just good, a real team effort to not give big chances away.
And last one for me, obviously a guy that's near and dear to this club's heart, and perhaps yours as well, with some bad news, Patrick Agyemang. Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, no, I sent him a message as soon as I'd heard about it and wished him well with his recovery. I thought he was a shoo-in for the World Cup this year. With America, he'll be disappointed, obviously, especially with it being the World Cup being over here. But he also understands that injuries are unfortunately a part of professional sport, and he's got to a really good level in his professionalism, and he'll come back a better player.
I know the cliche is the games are always a tale of two halves, but after that first half from this past game, how do you try to keep that consistency of great performance in that first half?
By not having any complacency. I thought, we've reviewed the game back, I thought we were very good first half. Started the second half okay, but then from minute, I think they had a throw-in, switch play, got down the side, crossed it, lad put it wide, and for the next 15 minutes we got really, really untidy on the ball up until probably the 70th minute, and then came back into the game again.
Thanks. Eric?
Dean, just going back to the backline conversation and the World Cup, what would you say to those critics who have said recently that Tim may be a little bit too old now to be a mainstay for the men's national team? What would your response to that be? Considering what he brings to this team.
Oh, if you're 17, you're too young. If you're 36, you're 38, you're too old. I think age is just a number. What you've got to look at is the player. Is the player good enough? In my personal opinion, but it's not my opinion. It will be Mauricio's decision. But yes, he's good enough. I think he's shown that. He's shown that in the last few games with us already. Knows how to defend. Knows how to get himself in good positions. I thought the first couple of games he got isolated a little bit, but I think I've also said as well in them games, I didn't think our fullbacks were great on that. I thought individually as a team we weren't great in the first game of the season and the first 6-minute spell against Galaxy. But since then, Tim's been not put a foot wrong for us. So I watched the game against Belgium, and I know it was a heavy defeat, but I wouldn't attribute an awful lot of that at Tim Ream.
With these last 5 game stretch of being all at home and Nashville being the last one, can you talk about the importance of the fans and the atmosphere that they bring to kind of close out this home game stretch?
Yeah, I mean, we're really appreciative of the support that we have here. The fact that, in somebody's wisdom, you have to play 5 games on the spin at home is tough because we know, people have to go and pay to watch us, and we're thankful to the support that they give us, and hopefully we're giving them a little bit something back that they're having to pay their hard-earned money to come and watch us. So unbeaten in the 4, and hopefully they can get us over the line for that 5.
We'll go to Will Gittins.
Hey Dean, Will Gittins here. You just mentioned the good form you're on, I think 3 wins from the last 4. Aside from the results, what have been the big positives you've taken from that run?
I think we've created a number of opportunities. The opportunities we've created as well, we haven't given too many big ones away. I think that's always a big sign for me in terms of how we're doing performance-wise. I wasn't happy with the first game performance against St. Louis. And there was a 6-minute spell that cost us the game against Galaxy. But since then, since that half-time, I think we've put in some decent performances. I think the players individually have started to look better, and collectively, I think we've looked better as a team.
Yeah, and you mentioned the sort of scheduling struggles, I suppose. Last season, there was a case of having runs of good form and then runs of finding it a bit tougher, and that generally was being at home or being away. In your mind, how much is the scheduling the root of that problem?
It certainly can be. It is difficult to play on the road over here. There's no doubt about that. The country is a massive country. You have to travel a lot of distance, and we have to fly to every away game. So our supporters do make it special here, but we know how to go and win on the road. I mean, we won 10 on the spin last season, towards the end of the season. So we certainly found a formula that works, and our job is to, once this 5-game run is at home is over, is to go and start winning on the road.
Great, thanks, Dean.
Cheers.
Westy said you gave him a hard time after he scored for not being ready from the rest defense getting back. Was that half joking, half not joking?
I did ask him if he got a nosebleed for being that high up the pitch, but no, he was in a good position. It was a great strike, and only what I've come to expect with his technique.
He's working at it. Sounds like finishing.
Yeah, no, he does it. He works at his finishing. He's an all-rounder, Westy, and Westy used to. When I saw him at Burnley, he was a box-to-box midfielder. I think since the injury, he's probably played a little bit deeper and in the role and less as a box-to-box playing midfielder. But he's always got the licence to go for me if we've got cover.
You've mentioned at the beginning of the season you wanted the position opposite him to be more of a ball progression, maybe even a little bit more creative. Is that something that, given your personnel management, something maybe you've shelved or maybe been a little bit more experimental in, because you've used Gianni, you've used Bronico more so from the start in these games here recently?
Yeah, just what I'm seeing from the players. Luca has been really good when he's come off the bench. I think he's actually upped the tempo of our game for us. When there's been a moment, like I mentioned last week, when we lost our way a little bit and kept turning the ball over, he's come on and done really well. I felt that the Red Bull game would be a good game for Gianni to come in. BB came in at half-time against Galaxy. So, as I said before, I'll look at the players, look at the opposition and how they play and decide, because I think I've got 4 very good midfielders there, and that's not including young Aaron John as well.
And when it comes to the center back position, as somebody who played the position, I know you have a high bar for what you want out of that. Is it fair to say that Morrison has matched your expectation, or would you say he's exceeded your expectation?
No, he's matched my expectation. I'm a tough judge. So he'll have to go a long way to exceed it, but I think we'll keep pushing him. I think if you saw the first goal, the goal that got disallowed from them in the first 5 or 6 minutes last week, he was a little bit too aggressive trying to win a ball that I don't think he could win, and they played it through the space. So he's learning all the time, and our job is to make sure that we keep teaching him, helping him become a better player. We can't help him become a better person because he's a really top lad, but he can be a really good player.
With that position, it's, I'm sure, very difficult to gauge, because you don't want to make a change if you don't have to, and you also, if you're seeing signs of maybe some slippage, like how do you go about judging when you need to make a change there before it becomes an issue that either costs you a game or costs you a goal? Experience.
I think that's experience from, I've done nearly 700 games as a head coach. You get to know, you get a feel of when players are going through a time, or, I don't think we're there with the players at the moment, but there'll become a time where I feel like it's time for somebody to have a rest.
We'll wrap up with Jorge.
Abada has had, some ups and downs, a couple tough breaks of goals called offsides. How do you help him keep his head up and tell him, that his time will come and then keeps calm?
At the moment, he's when he started, he's making good runs. When he's come on, he's making good runs, and he's having good chances in games. The hardest thing for people to do is, score goals. That's why people pay a lot of money for goal scorers. But what he's doing is giving himself opportunities. And I'd be more worried if he wasn't getting opportunities. He's created a couple of assists in the last couple of games, and he's also had a couple of chances where last week the goalkeeper made a really good save off him.